Takeover Podcast, the Bitcoin podcast for OGs and intermediaries. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, and like this episode. Also, read the new BTCT KVR magazine. This episode is sponsored by Wasabi Wallet, Crypto Steel, Shop in a Bit, and Sato Dime. Thank you for listening.
Hello there, and welcome to the Bitcoin Takeover Podcast. I am Vlad, your Bitcoin influencer's influencer, and I'm here today with a very special episode that's going to shine a light on a different part of the world about which you don't hear too much. My guest today is Sam Lee, who is one of the organizers of the Bitcoin Hong Kong meetup. And unfortunately, he cannot do video for you, so you're not going to be able to see his face. But he has a lot of interesting stuff to say, which is going to detach you a bit from all of the events that get reported on mainstream news in the West, which mostly concern either Gensler, the SEC, institutions in the US, or something in Europe. So this is going to be an episode about Hong Kong, and I'm very happy to have you, Sam.
Hey, thanks for inviting. Hello everyone. I'm Sam from Hong Kong. I have organized the Hong Kong meetup for how many years? For 4 years. I met Leo in 2018. I think many people know Leo in Hong Kong, and he is a very influencing Bitcoiners in Hong Kong. And then I joined his meetup, and I host meetup in 2019. This is the time before the COVID. At that time, in the meetup, you see a lot of different kind of people, like mainly the people from the Western countries. They go to Hong Kong for business, for crypto, or for lots of things. At that time, they would be like ICO quiz, and everyone is asking for ICO coin offer and how to buy Bitcoin at that time. So I feel interesting. So I think I want to host a Bitcoin meetup to meet more people in Hong Kong. Let's say about the Bitcoin community before the COVID. Before the COVID, the people, they travel around. There are lots of different kinds of people, but once the COVID happened and the people can't travel to Hong Kong, and how can we do the meetup? It was like a very, very challenging environment when you are a host to do the meetup in the environment that you no longer hang out in bars, restaurants, or any place indoors. So I would do at that time I just changed it to online. Also, I do a GC meetup, but it's all private because I'm so shy to do podcasts to let everyone know see my face talking. So that's I just post a link to the group and then let people join. Some people really join. They do join us, and we talk about the Bitcoin stuffs. Usually like the recent news. But in the COVID time, Hong Kong is very a little bit boring because there virtually no news from Hong Kong. Most of the news is from elsewhere because Bitcoin or crypto things in Hong Kong is quite new. Although some of the very, very famous crypto company like Binance and FTX, the recent collapsed FTX, were originally found in Hong Kong. There's a lot of reasons why they moved out from Hong Kong, this part of the world, eastern part of the world. And most likely is the crypto exchanges at that time, before the COVID, they think the regulation framework is not clear enough. So they don't know what would be allowed or not. So as somehow they found some places better than running business in Hong Kong, although Hong Kong is very good for running any businesses. So this is the time we in COVID time. Well, when we do the online meetup at the COVID time, people would like to share more about Bitcoin. Share more Bitcoin. Their philosophy about Bitcoin, rather than the ICO or like the market or coin offer or trading or what. Well, at that time, just like you have time to consolidate yourself. This because you are all the people, all the businessmen, all the crypto exchanges, ICO or stuff, were moving away. So the people who stay in Hong Kong, in the COVID time, really like Bitcoin, and well, so that's why the meetup still going on. It's very, very difficult to host a meetup at that time. Not all the time the bars or the restaurant were closed, but let's say like they will close the bar for 3 months for the search of, for the COVID outbreak wave, and then they will reopen. But once they reopen, they introduce some restriction. You have to have your QR code before you entering in a restaurant. You have to get jab before you can have access to restaurants. So at that time, the Bitcoin is very, very difficult, and some people don't want to join. So we moved to the place which is not indoor. Some places like IFC Garden on the 4th floor, people can join the meetup without showing their vaccine pass, because at that time the vaccine pass is a must. It's show a QR code to scan, and then it's verify you get enough jabs before entering a restaurant or a bar. And at that time it's still going on. I think, thank God, and we still going on the meetup thing. And after the COVID lockdown recently, and we have another challenge. Like seems like the people are moving out since the COVID lockdown. Like our co-founder, very, very OG Bitcoiners Leo, moved out of Hong Kong. We have a lot of people are moving out. This is very challenging, in my opinion. How to maintain a community, and it's like, can you find somebody like Bitcoin, like you, like yourself? If you can find somebody who likes Bitcoin like you like Bitcoin, and you can keep the community up.
Right. So you told me the story about what happened during the pandemic and the fact that lots of community members that were attending the Bitcoin meetup in Hong Kong have left. What is it like right now? Are you still under lockdowns? Is it still as bad?
Well, we Hong Kong we moved the lockdown policy last year, last December, and then it was much better. But like well, the I think this time would be like we are recovering, but I see no sign that we will recover to the point before COVID. This is the something I feel worried. Not just Bitcoin, but other things. But we mainly focus on Bitcoin. So the policy, I mean, the COVID policy changed Hong Kong forever. So it takes time to put Hong Kong to the stage that like uh, before the pandemic. It takes time. Like the people moving out to Hong Kong, would they move back? This is the big the big question, because like when they move back, they will have to because in these pandemic times, the people moving out have set up their new life in other countries, and after these 3 years of lockdown or COVID policy, when they consider moving back to Hong Kong, they will consider their career, their families, or their community and friends, because they have their new life in another country. So this is what I observe. Um, so in the background of the COVID lockdown and people moving out, uh, Hong Kong government have policy U-turn of the crypto stance, because previously the government do not recognize crypto, or they would like to softly ban the crypto, but they don't have a clear regulatory framework to regulate crypto businesses. And last year, they start to do the consultation, and everyone didn't know what would be the result of the consultation. Would it lead to a total crypto ban in Hong Kong? Uh, uh, but recently, I mean, a few months ago, government announced that the retail investor are allowed to invest in a licensed crypto exchange in Hong Kong. Well, this is a good starting point that the government have a U-turn to the crypto policy. And they also introduced a term called Web3. As a Bitcoiner, I know the Web3, like, as I know, Web3 for Bitcoiner, like, you use Nostr, and you can use that function to tip the content provider using Bitcoin Lightning. So this is the concept of Web3 of Bitcoiner. I think the government would have a different a vision of Web3, and most of the government in the world would like to roll out CBDC, a central bank digital currency. Well, if they have the technology to roll out Web3 to the mass population, and it will be much easier for the government to push the CBDC usage. Seems like this is like this is similar to the Bitcoin adoption. If the people don't have Bitcoin wallet or just have an exchange, they won't use Bitcoin in their real life. What is the Bitcoin usage in real life? I mean, just like when we go to Bitcoin meetup, we can share the bill by using Bitcoin to split the bill. Like, this beer 100 Hong Kong dollars, and the bill would be the bill would be like 200 Hong Kong dollar, and then we share the bill, and you pay the $200, and I pay you back the 100 Hong Kong dollar using Bitcoin. So this is one of the real life example when people use Bitcoin in their real life, just like what happened in CBDC adoption. Like if they have more use case, the people can use the CBDC coin to pay. The adoption just like skyrocketing. Well, I would think that CBDC would be like a very strong competitor to of Bitcoin, like because Bitcoin in the fiat money world, the value is very volatile. Like today, you see the price in terms of US dollar or what, it will be like a few percentage change in a single day. So the mass adoption would be, this is the main hurdle. The mass won't adopt Bitcoin to use in daily life because they think that the value of Bitcoin is fluctuating a lot. So they don't know whether they took their coin, how much is their coin today. They don't know how much they can spend. So at this time, I think the adoption, like the level of the adoption is stopping. I think it is stuck with at store value stage. The people buy Bitcoin and store value and hope for the appreciation of Bitcoin price. And some of the decentralized solution like Lightning or some businesses using Bitcoin like a BTC Pay or what, Bitcoin Pay or what, they accept Bitcoin. They have a solution for the merchants to accept Bitcoin, on-chain Bitcoin. Well, this kind of adoption is relatively small comparing with the traditional banks. So we need more education, more exposure to let people know how to use Bitcoin in their real life. Even the Bitcoiners, the Bitcoin society, the very hardcore Bitcoiners, some of them do not accept Lightning. Like they think that Lightning is not perfect, is not reliable, and yeah, and some of them feel okay with high fee over the Lightning over Lightning because they think that Lightning is not 100% reliable. But I know I understand their feeling. Yeah, so that's why if you are running a community, there's a lot of problem like this.
Okay, so let's say that I travel today to Hong Kong and I'm going to attend your meetup. How should I expect my experience to be? Should I expect openness or should I be more cautious in regards to the government and the local places that may not like the idea of Bitcoin?
Well, I think the official stance has been changed these few months. And when you are a tourist and to visit Hong Kong and attend a Bitcoin meetup, you will feel the openness because in Hong Kong there will still some degree of freedom of speech, so you can say things you like, and especially in some BC business district, and you can easily find some people like you, the expatriates, the people from overseas will join the meetup. So the Bitcoin meetup in Hong Kong would be like less local, are very different from European countries or American country, because Hong Kong, the locals show up less than the people from overseas. But everyone's are welcome, no matter they are local or foreigners. Well, we can talk a lot of things like how do you think about the market? How do you think about the Bitcoin adoption in your home country and what happened in Hong Kong recently, like the regulation. well, now we have 2 licenses for the crypto exchange in Hong Kong, and one of the license was recently granted to a company called HashKey, founded in Hong Kong. But I can say that the crypto exchange in Hong Kong is very different. I think very different from other crypto company. I mean, or crypto exchanges, no matter if they are licensed or not, because the the licensed crypto exchange in Hong Kong, like you can just trade in fiat money. You can see your balance, what coin you are holding, but you are actually can take out the coins, the crypto from the platform. So this is the main point that I concern because if it is an effective exchange, they will let you withdraw the Bitcoin from the exchange, not just let you exchange fiat money and trading for gain or loss. The platform like in Hong Kong, like fiat money trading platform. So it's nothing about Bitcoin, in my opinion. So we can talk a lot of things in Bitcoin meetup because in Hong Kong we don't have a very strong influencers, and the very strong influencers like Leo left, and so we can talk about a lot of things, and we can see that the communities in Hong Kong, I mean the Bitcoin communities in Hong Kong, different people have different views. Just like some people are very strong, are very strong fans of Lightning, and some of them are opposing Lightning, but they are still in the same Hong Kong Bitcoin community. So this is very important that the people with different views can share their opinions in the Bitcoin meetup. So I think that the culture in Hong Kong Bitcoin meetup are a little bit different from Europe, isn't it? Well, usually we will have
I thought you stopped and I was gonna play an ad. Let me play this and then I'll let you continue.
Wasabi Wallet is unfairly private. It's the most advanced and most used Bitcoin privacy wallet with 500,000 downloads across Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, as well as thousands of fresh new Bitcoins getting mixed every month. Wasabi makes use of the new generation Wabi Sabi engine to create mega coin joins, thus mixing your Bitcoins with those of hundreds of other users. For amounts lower than 0.01 BTC and remixes, you pay no coordination fee. Even if you don't use CoinJoins, Wasabi Wallet has a native Tor integration and downloads block filters to help you keep your network level and public key privacy. Download Wasabi Wallet for free today at wasabiwallet.io and experience the future of Bitcoin privacy.
All right, Sam, so sorry for interrupting. I was going to ask you about the services that are available in Europe and America and may not be as popular or even available in Hong Kong. For example, self-custody devices like hardware wallets. Do you have any of that? Because we have fairly good distribution of Trezor and Ledger and Bitbox and whatever here in Europe. But I was curious what it's like in Hong Kong in terms of self-custody. I think you're muted.
Okay, I'm back. Well, in Hong Kong, it can be very old school. Like the self-custody would be like paper wallet. Well, I heard of some brand, but it is not based in Hong Kong. One of my friends would have a brand called BC Vault. It's a Russian guy, and they have a he has a company to have hardware wallet and yeah, and some of most of the hardware wallet I use would be from overseas, not produced in Hong Kong. Like a Casa Node is a wallet, Casa, CASA, and yeah, they're very new at that time to roll out Lightning, but yeah, in my experience, so. And well, yeah, do the Hong Kong people buy a hardware wallet? I think so, but most of them are buying from overseas. Mostly by the big brands like Ledger X, or I don't know, maybe something similar. But for me, I recommend paper wallet.
Okay, that's interesting. I know there is Lishin Liu from, it used to be Kobo, now it's called Keystone, and he sells this hardware wallet to the Chinese market. I wasn't sure if that one is available in Hong Kong or not. But it's interesting to know that it's so OG that you don't really use these devices. I was expecting you to tell me that there are clones of such hardware wallets that are being sold on the market. It seems like that's not really the case.
Not really. Yeah. Some people will have their businesses in hardware wallet, but in my experience in the Bitcoin meetup in Hong Kong, well, people show very little interest. The people in Hong Kong, maybe they used to have clean water, safe food, a stable financial market, so they would be like to have a famous platform to store their coins, like they would store coins in Binance or store their coins in FTX, but it's already bankrupt. And some people will store the Bitcoin in mobile wallet, like something like Konami, some like traditional Bitcoin wallet, or some Lightning enabled wallet like Phoenix or what. But for hardware wallet, it would be like less. But I think you can buy it from Hong Kong, because in Hong Kong you have the freedom to surf on the internet to any foreign website. So if you know if you want to buy some stuff from the overseas, you can just go online and search it and buy it home. But
Yeah,
I seldom
that
see
makes
the
sense.
advertisement.
But I'm actually
I
curious if
seldom
there's
see the
delivery to Hong
advertisement
Kong.
about the. Sorry.
I'm curious if there's delivery. Of course, you can access the website, but can you order something and have it shipped in good conditions to Hong Kong?
Yes.
And if you have it
Yes.
shipped, is it verified? Like, do they open it at the border?
Well, I can't tell, but in general, the custom would not specifically check up Bitcoin wallet in the border, because this device is marked as general electronics. So general electronics would not be opened or double checked in the border. In my knowledge. Well, this is like you buy a phone from overseas, and and it's shipped to Hong Kong, just something like this. So they won't track it.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I think if you have access to AliExpress, which is one of the largest marketplaces and I guess has good coverage in Hong Kong, I think Ben, who created Ellen Bits, has made this DIY hardware wallet that you can make. You basically buy a LilyGo, which is a device that's about $15 on AliExpress. And all you do is get that and flash the ROM that he created, and you have a hardware wallet on a very general purpose device. I think that's a very nice workaround in places where you don't really have access to these items, and maybe that you don't have the technology or the technical inclination to put together a Trezor from pieces.
Oh, wow. I heard of this because Leo also demonstrates his homemade Lightning device. It mostly for the technical proficient person, tech geeks for that. But appreciate that someone demonstrate to me. Wow, it's quite nice because it's homemade and you just flash the ROM, the program, and make it in the hardware, and it's very cheap. I think it's very cheap because like as you say, it's just like $15 from AliExpress, and then you set it up according to the to the menu provided by the offer. So it's like well, this is quite innovative. I like that.
No, I'm not sure if it's innovative, but it's only pretty cypherpunk, meaning that you get something that you can use for anything. It can be a video game system. It can be a basic, I don't know, something that's used to display information. But you flash that ROM and you have a hardware wallet inside of it. And anyone who looks at it thinks it's a game system or something. So they don't care much about what you hold in your hands. It doesn't look suspicious. Whereas in the case of something else, like let's say Ledger or Trezor or whatever, they look much more like actual branded devices. So in a situation where the government is so adversarial, it's good to have these alternatives. But I was also wondering what it's like with privacy in Hong Kong. If you can buy Bitcoin without doing KYC, or if it's fine if you mix your coins with CoinJoin and then use it on exchanges if they ask for extra information or whatever.
Well, in Hong Kong, as I know, the exchanges in Hong Kong is nothing about Bitcoin because just a fair trading. But there's some exchanges in Hong Kong are not licensed. They are all the OTC exchanges. There are lots of OTC exchanges and Bitcoin ATM in Hong Kong. Well, one of the most famous OTC exchanges in Hong Kong is one Satoshi, and they would like to do the exchanges without KYC and purely in cash. So it is not regulated up to this point because, like, the regulation proposed by the imposed by the government mainly regulate the online platform. For the physical exchanges, like the cash to Bitcoin exchanges is not regulated. So there's no requirement to ask you for your ID card or passport before you doing the exchanges in those OTC exchange. But some OTC exchanges would ask you for your KYC information. But one Satoshi does not do that. They do not need KYC for that. So they would be like, if you are Bitcoin buyer, you can take your you can give out your cash to the OTC exchange, and they just check the cash and they count it, and they will send you the Bitcoin to the address you desired. So it's very simple as possible. Of course, all the exchanges is in Hong Kong dollar. Yeah, reasonable.
Do you have ATMs or places where you can go and buy without having to present ID or something?
Well, ATM, we have a lot of ATM. Some of the very famous exchanges like Genesis Block. Well, they closed down. They are out of business. I mean, they were out of business last year after the collapse of FTX. Other than that, there would be a lot of brands of ATM in Hong Kong. An average person does not expect that many Bitcoin ATM in Hong Kong, but in fact, there are lots of Bitcoin ATMs in Hong Kong. But the disadvantage of ATM is those are really, really high fee. And all of the OTC exchanges and ATM, they have camera on. So if you don't want to, if you want to have more privacy, you can put on your mask or put on your cap. This is still manageable. And but if you want absolute privacy, I don't think those solutions are the best. I mean, if you want to do it online and without KYC, better to do it with the Bitcoin people you know. The Bitcoin people you know, and they can exchange Bitcoin for you. So this all private, right? If you don't have Bitcoin people to trade Bitcoin or exchange Bitcoin and fiat money with you, better go to the OTC exchange. And the fee just like 3%, but it's still a little bit high comparing with the online platform, the licensed exchanges, because there's some risk for them. They have to count your cash. They have their business risk, and those 3% is the fair value, in my opinion. And ATM would be like 5 to 10%. It's very, very high because it's totally anonymous and it's automatic. So they would be like the fee would be super high. I think recently the price is the fee is a bit lower than a few years before.
That's good to know. Let me play another ad and I'm gonna come back with more questions.
Okay.
CryptoSteel is the original Bitcoin cold storage backup, and it's been innovating self-custody since 2013. Designed and manufactured in Europe from the finest and most resistant stainless steel, the CryptoSteel cassette and the CryptoSteel capsule are industry standards. These cold storage devices are made to resist house fires, extreme floods, and physical shocks. You can also use CryptoSteel to store your important passwords, BIP39 passphrase, or Nostr private keys. Buy your CryptoSteel today from CryptoSteel.com and use promo code BTCTKVR to get a 10% discount. CryptoSteel. Secure your Bitcoin like an OG.
So I guess you guys don't have access to CryptoSteel, which is the original design for metal tablets that's used for backup.
Mhm.
But do you have something similar?
Well, the X are very, very interesting. You know, you have a pretty girl on the X, and then they sell something very innovative. But in Hong Kong, I think not really. Maybe people just doing it in a lab. I think. I haven't heard of something similar in Hong Kong. I mean, produced it in Hong Kong.
It's interesting because the design has been open sourced by CryptoSteel in 2013. And since then, lots of copies emerged. There's the Bill Fodl, there's the Kobo tablet. There are lots of variations of the same design. So I was thinking maybe since you mentioned that you use paper wallets, which are not super secure, but they can be convenient, I was thinking maybe you have a more robust form of backup that is available to you.
Yeah, the backup is a very big issue. You know, you have to store your paper, and you have to make sure it's secure. You can't put it in one location, and you can't make it too obvious, and you can't make it very, very easy for people to guess. You may have some encryption or something just before you make your paper wallet, and that's very, very difficult for an average person to back up your keys. But you have, with those tools, because it's open source, yes, you can verify it, but open source is not equal to completely safe. Just like all the DeFi project recently, there are a lot of hack, and many DeFi projects they are claim they are open source. Well, there would be something like there would be some gap between perfectly open source and genuine and a flaw. Like, do you can you make sure that the product or the production is exactly built from the open source? They are available. This is the first question. And you can just build it yourself to fix this problem. And secondly would be like, how can you evaluate the open source code by yourself? Can you trust everybody who just look at the code and they think safe and use it? Of course, those open source, Bitcoin is also open source, but Bitcoin use case like they have much more actors to make sure Bitcoin is safe and Bitcoin is reliable. But all the other layer two solution or all the peripheral solution like the wallet, the wallet management tools, you have to be very very cautious, in my opinion. You have to study it really good and look through the codes, and you have to test it, and don't put all the money to those open source wallet. Is my opinion. But yes, innovation. I like innovation, so I would try it. But I all the eggs in one basket.
Yeah, that's very wise advice to not put everything in one basket, meaning you should not have only one backup for everything because it's likely that something can happen to that, and you should at least have some redundant ones or some different ones in different wallets. It's up to you to figure out how that works and what your threat model is. But I was wondering at your meetup, what are the most popular, let's say, top 3 most popular desktop and top 3 most popular mobile wallets that you use?
Okay, well, I think the most popular would be like Electrum. As I heard, the Bitcoiners show up in the Bitcoin meetup. Using desktop wallet are those quite technically proficient and OG. So they would be like using Electrum. For Bitcoin Core, less people are using Bitcoin Core. More people using Electrum. Electrum. And well, for the mobile wallet, like people nowadays use more Lightning powered, Lightning supported wallet. And well, we like some people would like to use Phoenix, like to use Blue Wallet. But Blue Wallet recently stopped some. But Blue Wallet is not self custody. Blue Wallet is custody but not self host. So and they have turned off some service, so it makes it less convenient for people to
You
use.
mean Blue Wallet?
And Blue Wallet. And I remember that previously you can open a new you can open a new Lightning wallet pretty easy. You just open a wallet, but now you have to have your own wallet first and connect to the Blue Wallet app. So if I already have a Lightning wallet, I don't need Blue Wallet, right? I mean, for an average user. So maybe people would like using Breeze, Phoenix, and something similar. Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Mostly because the
that's the part.
wallets that you enumerated as Lightning ones are non-custodial. There's Breeze, there's Phoenix. You said that Blue Wallet used to be popular. That's custodial, but they stopped using it. I'm surprised you haven't said anything about Wallet of Satoshi.
I have this one, but I forgot it. But maybe less people are mentioning it, so I forgot it.
Yeah, makes sense. It's popular among Nostr users. I mean, Nostr, that's the way it's actually pronounced. And I think the other popular one is LB because it has lots of integrations. But it's interesting to know that in Hong Kong, you actually care about sovereignty and self-custody. As you mentioned that the 2 most popular desktop wallets are Electrum and Bitcoin Core. That's super hardcore OG. And it's also the way that I would go if I was in your situation. And on Lightning, you have Phoenix and Breeze, which are kings of usage, which I think is super cool. I believe that every American or European listening to this should take some lessons from your way of handling your Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well, this is the simplest thing to do because if you control your keys and the coins are really yours, otherwise you can you can't control the ownership if you just put the coin to the exchanges or what. Well, but it's also like a double-edged sword because because you are the self-host of your own wallet, you have to make sure it is safe. Because once you lost it and mishandle it, the coins will be gone. So that means you can just put all the eggs in one basket. Like if you just put all your Bitcoin in the paper wallet or hardware wallet or just one place, even though you have a very good backup plan, is still very dangerous. So you have to have some diversified ways to do that. So I don't reject Bitcoin ETF if those ETF are holding the Bitcoin, really hold the Bitcoin as spot Bitcoin, but of course don't put all the money to one thing. And for some not very technically proficient user, they may like to buy something. I think they need a spot Bitcoin ETF for that because they don't like to hold the Bitcoin using their wallet. They are not technically ready enough. So Bitcoin is something suitable for every level of people.
Yeah, I agree with that. And right now I'm going to play an ad for a sponsor which actually makes some cards that help you basically transfer the Bitcoin from one person to the other without a non-chain transaction. It's like Bitcoin Cash, but not BCH. So let me play this and then I'm gonna come back with more questions for you.
Okay.
Remember the paper wallet? Ah, yes, the good old days when you printed your Bitcoin private key on an offline computer? It was so fun, but not really easy and totally not secure. Today, we have SatoDime, a chip card that acts just like your good old paper wallet, but with all the modern security features and top-notch functionality. It turns your Bitcoin into a bearer asset, which you can easily trade in person. Thanks to NFC, you can use the SatoDime card with your smartphone. Creating a new pair of Bitcoin keys takes just 2 swipes. Check your balance in real time, create multiple key pairs. Whenever you want, you can reveal your Bitcoin wallet's private key with just a single click. The simple, uncluttered interface lets you quickly see if a key pair has been unsealed. Finally, the cold storage you've been looking for. Available now on SatoDime.io.
You know, Sam, I was thinking that you are pretty resilient if you're still in Hong Kong and you still do meetups. On a scale from 1 to 10, how likely do you think that it is for the government to step down and try to confiscate all of the Bitcoin that you and everyone else owns?
Well, I think it's a very difficult question. But I think Bitcoin is something they can't control. Let's take some example. Take the stance of the take example like the stance of the government all over the world. Well, at the beginning, they would think that Bitcoin or crypto, mainly Bitcoin, is illegal and just criminal is using it or something, blah blah blah, and yeah, some smear campaign, the bad label on Bitcoin, and more recently, people arguing the proof of work algorithm, like the China mining ban, the Western world, some ESG environmentalists complain of Bitcoin energy usage, and with those flawed reasons and researches, but end up Bitcoin is going green. Like more and more Bitcoin mining is based on the green source. So you see recently, US SEC is going to approve a Bitcoin ETF. It's spot Bitcoin ETF, but I'm not going to say more about the US. But as I know, the government like less and less reason to ban Bitcoin and less reason to be hostile toward Bitcoin. So in history, sometime government would just take all your gold, take all your properties in some special times or emergent times. But for Bitcoin, I think it may happen if Bitcoin is become too successful. Just like because like every day is rising or the adoption is booming and more adoptions, more and more users and more visible in daily life, government would be like how to control the ownership and how to control the activity around Bitcoin. I think this time is not yet. They just found that there's no reason and not possible to ban the activity around Bitcoin. So they have to change their approach. But I think they would be like, they have their hidden agenda. Most of the government have their hidden agenda. Maybe they would like to stop, outlaw the ownership of Bitcoin or what. But it's just some conspiracy theory, not ungrounded, not yet. There's no proof that the government would do that soon. But if you are really like to make your Bitcoin safe, make your wealth safe, just do the more research on how to store your Bitcoin safe using paper wallet, hardware wallet. Read more review on open source forum, GitHub or what the platform, and learn more about Bitcoin, simply Bitcoin. And Lightning is not necessary, but it's a good try to explore because it's a second layer. It make the transaction fee cheaper. So if you have some petty cash Bitcoin, like very few Bitcoin, you can. It's good to store some very few amount Bitcoin in Lightning wallet and just do the exchange and transfer with your friends and promote Bitcoin usage during not just Bitcoin meetup and also other kind of gatherings with your friend or family. Try to send Bitcoin to them, try to explain how to use it, and try to accept the Bitcoin they pay to you. And it will boost the adoption a lot because it is really out of the banking system.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. And one, I guess, element during our interview has been the fact that FTX and the collapse of other exchanges in the US has affected business that's related to Bitcoin in Hong Kong. And my question for you is, to which extent do you believe that the events in the US, either private, meaning companies that go down, or regulations that come from the US government, affect the Bitcoin scene in Hong Kong? You think it's the case that everything that happens in the US is going to have side effects or direct effects on what's happening around your community? Or do you think that you have a degree of independence from all of these dynamics?
Well, in Hong Kong, the Bitcoin society are quite less affected by the Western countries because, well, first of all, Bitcoin is not traditional finance. In the traditional finance field in Hong Kong, they are really affected by the Western country. Let's say the rate hike or what, the sanction or what, it affected the traditional market a lot. But for Bitcoin, there's no traditional or regulated market. Even those licensed crypto exchange in Hong Kong, they won't really exchange Bitcoin. They just exchange fiat money and using a trading platform. So I think it's less affected by the US or Western country. I mean the Hong Kong Bitcoin community. But once the US turn a green light to the Bitcoin spot ETF or other spot ETF, well, it would push Hong Kong government to rethink their role in this Web3 or crypto businesses and strategy, because those are Hong Kong's competitor. Like you see, the adoption in US is very, very huge comparing with Hong Kong. I mean, comparing with other places. Of course, some developing country like El Salvador or Turkey, right? Their people need bitcoins, right? So you'll see a very high adoption rate. But the advanced economy like US or other Western country, they have much more adoption in Bitcoin than the adoption in Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is lagging behind. So I think government know this, so they have to do something. They think it is acceptable to explore they call it Web3 innovative, but it's not enough, I think, because Hong Kong have to have its own Bitcoin ecosystem or crypto ecosystem so that it can attract the investor and people from overseas again. Now, people are moving out, so we need to attract the people from overseas to come back Hong Kong.
That's interesting. And I was also wondering why you decided to stay around Hong Kong when you said that everything got stricter and a lot of community members left. What was it that determined you to not leave the country and stay there and try to keep this meetup going?
Well, I think the influencers have a very, very. I think I feel amazing when I meet the Bitcoin influencer Leo. He inspired me to this Bitcoin space, and wow, this is very good. So I feel very good to have host Bitcoin meetup in Hong Kong to see many people from overseas and connect the people from the outside world. And yes, Hong Kong is not very good these years. And as a local, I don't want to leave my home because Hong Kong is my home. I move out, maybe I will have a better life, maybe, but I maybe have a worse life in another country. And I also don't want to leave my friends, families alone. So that's mean, yeah, you have to set up your new life completely if you move to another countries or economies. And comparing with Hong Kong, Singapore is not very good place for many of Hong Kong people who used to enjoy their Western or internationalized lifestyle. Yeah, they are still really boring, but they are catching up. I mean, Hong Kong can just stop or just they just feel good. No, Hong Kong can just feel good and wait people to come back. People are really moving out. So I hope the Bitcoin community and the crypto thing would attract more people from overseas to come back to Hong Kong and see the other side of Hong Kong instead of those very bad things in Hong Kong. The crypto and Bitcoin community is representing the openness and freedom of speech and the liberty value of Hong Kong.
Yes, and I know that there are differences between Hong Kong and China from a political point of view. You benefit from certain advantages. One of them that you mentioned is that you have access to all the websites. There's no Chinese firewall that's affecting your internet traffic. But what are the other differences? How would you describe yourself different from a Chinese Bitcoiner?
Well, Hong Kong people speak different languages. Yeah, well, we speak Cantonese and Chinese speak Mandarin, but ethically we are Chinese, and but we have different type of lifestyle or different type of human rights. Like we have freedom of speech. I can share my view on Bitcoin online without any interruption. But in mainland, the Bitcoiner in mainland, they face a lot of problem. They can't openly discuss Bitcoin on all the social network, like Chinese Twitter, like Weibo, WeChat or what. Well, they have very. I show my sympathy on them because the freedom of speech and the freedom to express your opinion is very important for everyone, especially the people who love Bitcoin. Because the people who love Bitcoin, they know what Bitcoin is, and they will value the freedom Bitcoin give them, and they mostly I think mostly the Bitcoiner are the liberals and emergent liberals living in China. I mean, mainland China, not very good for them. But yeah, God bless. I hope everyone will find a way to, yeah, to 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 find something meaningful in their living place. Um, I stay in Hong Kong. I was born in Hong Kong. I still stay here. I think I hope it will be more open to the world after this COVID lockdown.
Okay, you mentioned the word liberal, and I know that in Europe and in Asia, it means something completely different from what it means in the USA, where liberal
Ah,
means socialist, but in Europe and Asia, liberal means libertarian from the US.
yeah, yes. Absolutely, because the liberal in America would be like they would have a new term called neo liberty, something like that, and they are somehow close to socialism. But I'm not very familiar with U.S. politics, and some countries in Asia, people want liberty a lot because the formation of a government and the social system they have less freedom than the people from the West. So the people would want to have more freedom, but Hong Kong, other than political freedom, you have the freedom of speech and you have the freedom of your property ownership, including owning Bitcoin. Well, this is very important. Free flow of information, and I hope it can sustain.
Yeah, I hope so too, Sam. I was also wondering if people are in Hong Kong and they want to join your meetup, how can they contact you?
Well, I have. I recently I opened a Nostr account, especially for the Bitcoin meetup, and also we used to have. We have Bitcoin. We have a Meetup.com account. We run it for many years. So if you search Bitcoin HK, and you can find us. So we can share the link and the Nostr pub and pub key for the people who want to join Bitcoin meetup. All the meetup is in monthly basis. So the next meetup will be in October. The last meetup is yesterday. Was yesterday, and it's raining. It's raining like cat and dog. And today we have once in a century flooding in Hong Kong because of a very, very heavy rainfall in Hong Kong, not seen in a century. So, anyway, I hope everyone are safe. And just check out our Nostr and meetup.com so you can find us.
Yeah, I'm very happy that you're doing this, Sam, and I appreciate your dedication. I feel like today I've learned something new about a part of the world that doesn't get mentioned too often on the news. We don't know too much about Hong Kong. We don't know too much about mainland China, except for the moments when China bans Bitcoin. I think that's the only actual moment when we learn more about what's going on there. Actually, I should ask you, is there any Bitcoin mining in Hong Kong that you're aware of?
Well, I think there's Bitcoin mining in Hong Kong, but it would be in a small and private scale. Just like some people went warehouse and put their mining gear there. But the electricity fee, the electricity cost in Hong Kong, before the war in Ukraine, Hong Kong electricity fee is still high comparing with some country in the Western world. But nowadays, Hong Kong electricity is not very expensive comparing with other part of the world. It is not effective to mine in Hong Kong because although the electricity fee is not very high in Hong Kong, but there's no plan for the electricity company to have some wholesale electricity for the large scale Bitcoin miner. So the Bitcoin miner won't have many discounts when they set up Bitcoin mining in Hong Kong. So apart from the crypto or Web3 policy, I would like the government to consider to research on the Bitcoin mining, because Bitcoin mining is the way to connect to the green energy. It is the wrong impression that Bitcoin produce pollution or what. It is true that Bitcoin consumes a lot of energy, but all energy pay us well because many renewable source power plants, their power resource, their power source are not reliable enough to be put on the power grid. With the Bitcoin mining operation, the startup, the green energy startup can have a better financial position to sustain their green energy plant. So it's a mutual benefit between Bitcoin mining and green energy. So you can see that if you see Bitcoin mining as an individual industry, this industry is the most clean industry in the world compared with other industry like financial industry or what. They all use fossil fuel, but Bitcoin, more than half of the Bitcoin mining are using green energy.
Yeah, I very much agree with you, Sam. And I'm gonna try to send you a copy of my latest magazine that's called Breaking FUD, which has a lengthy article on the topic of Bitcoin mining. Maybe you can use this at your meetup. Maybe you can show it to people. It has 10 articles about the top 10 most common misconceptions about Bitcoin. If you're watching the screen right now, I'm not sure if you are, but it looks like this. And it's available for sale in three places in Europe. I'm gonna make sure I send you a copy so that you can take a look at it, see if you like it. Maybe it helps you, maybe it doesn't. If it doesn't, at least you can add it to your collection. Also, your NPub from Nostr was added to the description of this video. The name of the account is @SamL on Nostr, and it's called Bitcoin HK Meetup. follow them if
Yeah.
you're interested to see what's happening and what's going on in Hong Kong with Bitcoin. I think it's an interesting part of the world. It's different from China in some regards. It has some autonomy, and it's interesting to see that there are passionate people who try to use Bitcoin non-custodially and get together and talk about stuff. And I'm very grateful for your time here, Sam. I hope that you're gonna succeed in bringing more people and increasing Bitcoin education in your area. And you're pretty courageous that you're doing this in an environment that's more adversarial than in the US or Europe. So thank you very much for this. Do you have
Thank
any
you for
closing
hosting.
notes?
Thank you.
Okay.
Shop and Bit is the online store where you can buy anything with your Bitcoin. Choose between more than 800,000 products, book flights and hotels, and order everything else through the concierge service. With Shop and Bit, you can buy your weekly groceries, get the latest iPhone, upgrade your computer, buy something sexy for your new girlfriend, book a trip to El Salvador through the travel hacking service, and also grab a copy of the latest Bitcoin Takeover magazine to read in the airplane. Everything is integrated with a familiar shopping experience that doesn't track you and deletes your data after the order gets completed. You also get a 3% discount if you pay in Bitcoin. Try Shop and Bit today and use promo code BTCTKVR for a €5 discount on your first order.
Thank you for listening, guys, and make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one.